welcome to Sestra-Tainment.
Sestra-Tainment.
I'm Lenora.
And I'm Dee.
And we're coming to you today in regards to everything entertainment.
Yes.
All
right.
So this week I'm going to start first. And I actually am going to talk about a show on Paramount Plus called Babylon.
Oh.
Yeah, so Babylon has a few different characters in it. Not really, let's just start with Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt. Like, they are the main two characters in the 3-hour-long movie.
Oh, God. Not Titanic.
I was like, oh my gosh. Once I got into it, I was like, wait, how much longer is left? 56 minutes. Oh my gosh. Okay, I guess I'll stick around for the rest of it.
That sounds so
I didn't
long.
recognize it before I started watching it. But basically, it's based in like the 1920s. And for the most part, it's like Eyes Wide Shut meets acting in Hollywood and producers and like the glam and craziness and parties and drugs. And it's a wild, wild ride.
Okay.
And so there's crazy parties, there's drugs, there's everything extreme. So you have Brad Pitt, who basically plays like a silent movie star. And so he basically, they said, kind of reflects Jack Conrad or John Gilbert as like previous silent movie star types, like the dark hair, the mustache.
Like the Charlie Chaplin movie?
No, because he was more like goofy and funny and whatever.
He was a really good actor, though.
Well, this was more of the romantic kind of, movie star of that time, so to speak. And so they just said that some of the ways in which they dressed him, the ways in which they had his hair, just reflected different people from that time and how they looked in the movies. And so you had Margot Robbie, who played, Brad Pitt played Jack Conrad. I'm saying that wrong, but he was like a John Gilbert type silent movie star character. And then Margot Robbie played Clara Bow. And so basically, she was somebody who was just like this fun New York City personality. They couldn't really quite pin down who she really was like playing from the 1920s, but it's like a mixture of a bunch of different women from that time. Like, so some were fun, some were flirtatious, some were extremely great actresses. And so like they had parts in Babylon where like they would just say, okay, in this next scene, we're going to need you to cry. And then she would put on this like huge performance and the tears would just start rolling. Wow. And then as soon as they said cut, she was like, okay, so what's next? And they were just like, wait, we thought you were in a emotional place. And she was like, well, I went there, but then I came back.
Yeah, that's a good actor right there.
Yeah, exactly. So that was kind of cool. And so basically, she started off as somebody who was like, I am going to become a movie star. And there's another cast member in here named Manny. And so basically, his character is somebody who is it starts off really with him because he is kind of the grunt person. So he has to figure out at the very beginning of this movie how to get an elephant to the top of a mountain. Because you can't really walk it up to the top of the mountain. I mean, maybe you could. It's possible. But instead, they decide to put it on the back of a truck. Like a big, huge truck.
Why does that sound like a movie?
I don't know. And they're like, the truck is like, trying to get up this hill. And then they're trying to pull the truck that's got the elephant on it. And then the cord breaks and all this stuff happens. And then there's like, it was a lot. It was a lot with this elephant. And so basically it just shows the excess of these people because what happened is that they had this huge party, and what's supposed to happen? An elephant is supposed to roam around the party to blow the minds of all the guests. So that's how extravagant all this stuff is. Do you see what I mean? It's just unnecessary for no reason. And then you have where, women are topless, and they're, some of them have those little shimmy, 1920s kind of dresses on, and, it's a lot. So it's very extravagant. Then all of a sudden, the talkies start coming into play. And so that's when you have the films like we look at now where they actually have words and people are talking in them as opposed to just the screens and then you have to read what's going on. And so that made it so that the people like Brad Pitt were now not really, they're more obsolete. Like, we don't even really need you, but it goes through a lot to get you there. So yeah, so Manny is played by Diego Telva, and he's a really good character in here, and you kind of feel for him because he's just trying to keep everybody happy. He's a people pleaser, basically. So everything that he wants to do as well is about, I'm getting to Hollywood. I want to work behind the scenes in Hollywood. I want to do something in Hollywood. Then you have Margot Robbie, whose character is like, I also want to get to Hollywood. And she actually makes it. She like gets there and she is like blowing up the charts. She's doing a lot of things where people are like chasing her around with the cars and all of that. Wow. But then Manny just helped her this one time to get into the right party, so that the one with the elephant, so that way she could get seen. And lo and behold, that started her whole career because somebody saw her dancing on a table. Yeah. And they were like, hey, tomorrow, can you come and show up here? Because some chick OD'd in the bathroom. Oh, God. So we need somebody to take her place, so it'll be you. And from that moment on, she just showed how well she could act to make her famous. And then Manny kind of thought she forgot about him a little bit, and then all of a sudden she sees him on the street when she's surrounded by all these people, and she's like, Manny, like, help me, save me, So it kind of has a little bit of a ebb and a flow with the two of them, and you feel like, oh, maybe this could be a happy ending even for the two of them. And I, won't say if it is or if it isn't. But then also there's scenarios. It's got so much going on. There's guns and people trying to kill them. All of a sudden, Tobey Maguire comes out of nowhere.
We're in probably like hour. 2 hours into the movie.
2 hours and 20 minutes into the movie, Tobey Maguire shows up or something crazy. Yeah. And so then there's a whole other sequence of stuff that happens once he shows up, and you're just like, why is he even here? Like, what is happening, and why is this needing to be a part of this movie?
No, that's so
you
much.
Have all this stuff with Brad Pitt and his whole character and his, top of the charts. I'm the man. I get to do so many amazing things too. Now people kind of giggle and joke when you are doing a talkie or a movie, let's say, because they're just like, he's so old now. He's so outdated. You know what I mean? So it just shows probably Hollywood as a whole. And so anyway, I will say that it definitely shows that there are rich and powerful people in this movie. It shows that there are people who are like, look, I'm going to go after what I want for whatever cost that's going to cost me. And then you have those deviant and horrible people who are in here, which, is probably also a reflection of Hollywood. So watch it or not. It's very long. I mean, it's already an older film. I mean, it came out in movies. I think it was one of the first ones that came back out into the theaters, like Top Gun.
It looks like it gives me
like
a Great Gatsby vibe.
It does have a Great Gatsby kind of vibe to it, especially since it's kind of in the same time frame of the 1920s. But it is a roller coaster. And it's called Babylon. And the funny thing about it is that initially, before it came out, just like looking at things about it, everybody thought it was going to be like, top of the Oscar charts. Oh, it's going to be something that people are going to talk about because the same guy who did La La Land did this. Okay. And, La La Land was about Hollywood, and it had all these, things and scenes that people looking at it are like, oh my gosh, I remember that. I know where that is, those kind of things. And so for this movie to come out, and it almost had no fanfare whatsoever. Yeah. Nobody was really even talking about it. And I think the only thing they won Oscars for were like costume design and set creation or something like that, but it wasn't anything in regards to like the actors from it weren't even really in a category. And I don't think that they expected it when they made this probably astronomical movie for the cost. So anyway,
that's kind of weird that they got Samara Weaving and Margot Robbie in the same movie because everybody talks about how much they look alike.
Yeah,
was that like her stunt double or something?
No, but if I'm remembering correctly, one was not happy that the other was in their movie.
Oh wow. Shout out to Margot Robbie.
If I'm remembering correctly. So, but so that's it. Babylon, and like I said, it's on Paramount. So, all right. So, what you got, sis?
All right. So, my movie that I have, you can watch this on Peacock.
Okay.
And I have Knock at the Cabin.
Knock at the Cabin. Okay, got it.
All right. So, just to give you a little insight about this, so the cast is the wrestler Dave Bautista, who is apparently, I guess he's just not wrestling anymore. He's just an actor. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, he probably isn't like The Rock.
Yeah. He's in everything.
Doesn't do it anymore.
He's in everything. You have an actor named Jonathan Groff that I don't think I've really seen him in many things, but I might have seen him as like one of those guys in that movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Ben Aldridge playing Andrew, and Eric and Andrew are married and are the couple in this cabin. You have Nikki. Let me see if I'm gonna butcher this. Nikki Amuka Bird.
Okay.
You've seen her in a couple of different things. She's a Nigerian actress. And then we got Rupert Grint, who is gotta love Rupert. You know what I'm saying?
From all of the Harry Potters.
Yeah, right.
The redhead. Yeah.
He's his name is Redmond. You have Abby Quinn, whose name is Adrian, and then you have Kristen Chi or Qui. I don't know who plays when. I'm horrible with names. I should stop saying people's names.
It's okay. It's totally
okay. All right. So the premise of this is there is a couple that is together, and they're together with their daughter. Now, like I said, you got Eric and Andrew, Papa Eric and Papa Andrew, or Daddy Eric and Daddy Andrew. So the movie starts out with this little Asian girl, and she is picking up caterpillars outside and putting them in a jar. You know, she's like a jar of sticks, grass, and everything in there. She's just grabbing caterpillars. So it's like their little vacation. And out of nowhere, Batista shows up and just starts talking to the little girl. And then he starts asking her questions, and he's like, "Can I help you get crickets?" So then it goes from there, and then all of a sudden you see the little girl go into the house, and she's like frantic, telling her parents, like, "Yo, get inside now." They're on the back porch. She's like, "Get inside now. They're coming. They have weapons. Like, this is what's happening." They're just like, come on, honey, what's going on?" And then as soon as they get inside, do you hear the knock at the door? And then they're just
the knock at the cabin.
So from there, it is actually Batista's character, it's Nikki's character, it's Rupert. And it's also Abby Quinn. It's all those characters. So you have Redmond, Adrian, Leonard, and Sabrina.
Okay.
So now these are the people who's standing outside, but you can't see their face. Like you know Batista, but you don't see everybody else's face. And as they're talking to the husbands, it starts to get weird, because as they're talking to the husbands, then they're seeing, oh my God, like these are man-made weapons. Like they don't have guns or anything. Like that looks like somebody made an axe onto a pitchfork that has like a big metal weight on the end of it that looks like one of those, whatever those battle axe things look like. And they're just like, okay, they all have weapons. So they're talking about like everything that could possibly happen. Hey, we're going to call the cops. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Well, it gets so crazy. Now, it goes into like Rupert's character ends up being like a "here's Johnny" kind of thing, like through a door. So everybody now is inside the cabin. They're freaked out. But the crazy thing is how everyone acts. Like everyone who's bussed to get inside this cabin, they're all like, "Please wait, just listen to us. Please wait, stop. We don't want to hurt you. Stop. Are you done now? Please stop. Listen to us.
Like listen to us.
Yeah, listen to us. But we're breaking in. Yeah,
we're breaking in, but we're trying to tell you something.
Yeah, we've been trying to tell you something. You won't open the door, so now we got to break in.
Gotcha. So why didn't you tell me it before you broke in?
Maybe exactly. But they were just like, it's a out of eye conversation. You know, it's not something we want to talk about through the door. So from there, now you have the two fathers are tied up, and the and the other four are there, and this is when they start to break down exactly what happened. So basically, it is, hey, y'all got to make a decision of like what y'all want to do, because if y'all can't make this decision, the apocalypse is coming. It's the end of the world.
So the people who lived and who were in the cabin are the ones who have to make the decision.
Yes.
Okay.
Now this is the tricky thing. So I maybe I didn't watch enough of the trailer or something, but I did not know the extreme of how this was going to be. So I don't
think from the trailer I saw anything was extreme.
Yeah, I mean,
but
like,
it's M. Night Shyamalan. Right?
Yeah. This is definitely an M. Night Shyamalan movie. You do get some closure though. This is the first one I've ever seen you get closure.
No, you got closure on The Sixth Sense.
What?
You got closure.
Was that everybody was dead?
Well, don't say that. I mean, we'll spoil
It's The
alert,
Sixth Sense from 1996. Okay.
But, I mean, no, not everybody was dead in The Sixth Sense. We'll talk about it offline.
Yeah. Okay. If that was that his first movie?
I think so.
Okay,
yeah.
so okay, maybe he started to do closure, and then after that it was like
after The Village and all that. Like,
then it
all
was
those
just like
things
wide open. Like, what is even happening?
Because he didn't with that one with the aliens. I can't remember what that one was.
It's like like The Briefcase in Pulp Fiction. I don't know what happened. I don't know what that is. What is in the briefcase? Right. Usually his movies are, I don't understand what just happened.
Yeah, what did I just watch?
What did I just watch? Like The Happening. Why did all this stuff happen? Like, why is the air making everybody crazy when they kill themselves? Exactly. Like, so this was like, so this one you actually get closure.
Good.
That is a good thing. I want to do a round of applause for M. Night Shyamalan for doing that.
Maybe he's gotten enough of the feedback to know, let me circle back to give these people some closure.
And this, I think this might have been his first movie where he was not in.
Oh,
I don't remember seeing him unless he might have been like somebody in the background or something like that. But I don't remember seeing him anywhere.
Interesting. All right,
good. So, now as the apocalypse is slowly coming, they're just like, okay, look, we got to do this now. We don't have that much time. You got to make a decision. Blah 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 blah.
Okay.
And then after
did they tell them what the decision is they need to make?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to say what
No, you don't have to say, but I was just like, what decision is it that
so then they make their decision, and then Batista was like, okay, cuts on the TV, and he was like, I'm trying to tell you, all these plagues are happening. So Batista mentioned the plagues. I can't remember exactly how they were going to do it, but it was like, is
it the same ones like Lotus and Locust?
No,
and stuff like that?
No, it's not like the Ten Commandments or anything, but it's like fire,
floods.
Floods, fires, something
all the
in the
things
sky.
We're dealing with in real life.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely. Right. So now, once the TV comes on, they're looking at the TV, and it was like, oh, breaking news. There's a tsunami that just happened, and such and such and such and such. And it was like, we have live coverage. And then from the live coverage, you can literally see people on the beach. And then they're just all looking like, wait, what's going on? What's happening out there? And then everybody tries to run. Actually, you see one person running. That's probably M. Night Shyamalan in the movie. That might be his cameo. But you see this, like, everybody's looking. You see this one person dart across the screen. It's like, I'm out of here. And everybody else is just watching. And then once the waves start to get closer, that's when everybody starts to run.
Yeah.
But then it's like, so every time they ask the question, like, they only have a certain amount of time. Every time they ask the question, make your choice. Something else bad happens in the world.
So every time they make a choice, something bad happens?
Yes, but they have to.
Every time they made a choice, it was supposed to save the world.
Well, it depends on what their choice was. Save the world or no. So make a choice. You save the world or no. Oh, you don't want to save the world? Well, look at that. Now there's fires everywhere. Now there's
but
planes.
It must be to save the world. It has crashing. To be a really bad choice in the other direction.
Yes, absolutely.
So then it's like, do you want to make a choice that is, people will die, but it's not something that impacts you? Or is it that you want to make a choice that impacts you in a horrible way?
Exactly. And then also with that, the strange thing is, it's like, wait, how do we know this is even real? It's just like, this makes no sense. Like the tsunami that happened over in California was just an earthquake that happened 3 hours ago, and now it's a tidal wave is now hitting. He was like, yeah, because you didn't make your choice. It could have been like secluded. It could have been, not as bad if you would have made the choice. Because it was so far out, it took 3 hours for it to get there. And then there was another one. And then there was another one. So it was like a whole bunch of things happening. There was like people dying, kind of like some kind of virus that was killing people. I mean, like every time they asked them to make a choice and they couldn't make the choice, then something bad would happen. So now, but they're just in disbelief. They're just like, yo, this is not real. Like, yo, all right, so what is this? Like, we couldn't get any other channels but this public broadcast channel that y'all are making up, all this stuff.
Yeah, that we have to watch,
I mean, they were saying so many times that, no, this is not real, that Batista was like, I've seen this before, and says exactly what the newscaster was saying as she was saying it. And they're just like, you're lying. This isn't real. And then, but I mean, it's because, like, how would you believe that? Somebody just knocks them, just like, hey, it's about to be the apocalypse, and you got to make the decision. The world or your family.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So it's just, I don't know. It was just really, really nuts, crazy. The way that it all plans out with each of the cast, when you have was it Quinn and Sabrina and Redmond. They ends up being that Redmond is tied into the two husbands. So, and then they're just like, well, now we know this is fake because this is the guy that we had this issue with before, blah, blah, blah. But it's everybody who was in that cabin had a vision. And they all had the same vision.
Gotcha.
So they were like, we never met each other until we got together on this dock and decided to come and seek you out.
Got it.
It's creepy.
That is, yeah.
It's creepy. But I mean, if somebody knocked on my cabin and was like, yo, you got to do this, or, you know, it's going to be the end of the world, I'd be like, well, I guess it's the end of the world then. Sorry.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's a tough situation to do for strangers who show up and knock on the cabin.
Yeah. It's like,
It's
what?
weird, yeah.
Well, I just didn't understand it. But I thought it was good. Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's on Peacock. I think it's one of M. Night Shyamalan's good movies. I like how it comes together in the end. It makes a nice little pretty bow.
Oh, well, there you go.
I love it.
Very
All right.
good. Might
What
have
you
to
got
watch
next?
that one. So I have Megan.
Oh, the little creepy doll.
The little creepy doll, Megan. It's also on Peacock.
Okay.
So you can watch it there. Peacock's got a lot going on. It had 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, so not too bad of a movie there. And it starred Allison Williams, who was the same lady who was in Get Out, the girlfriend
Yeah.
in Get Out. And believe it or not, Brian Williams' daughter. I don't know if people know that. The newscaster Brian Williams.
Oh.
That's his daughter, Allison Williams.
Never knew that.
Yeah, and so Violet McGraw is the little girl who played Katie, who was her daughter, her niece. I guess you go back and say her niece. And so everybody else, Megan was played by two different people, Jenna Davis and Amy Donald. Sorry, so they both played the character or the voice of Megan, probably just depending on if she was trying to be really sweet and cute,
or if she was like, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna get you, sucker. So anyway, that is the kind of cast for the movie. But Megan starts off about a little girl who's kind of riding with her parents. They're going into a blizzard, basically, like riding along on this road to get to some place in a blizzard. And unfortunately, because it's whiteout conditions, as they are driving, they run into a snowplow. So the snowplow head-on collisions with them, and both of her parents pass away. Okay. So based on that, the little girl has to now go live with her aunt. Her aunt, depending on how people say it. So, but she goes to live with her aunt, and she basically moves in with her aunt. She's a little detached, She's like, I'm not the greatest communicator right now because of the fact that, things went on with my parents, and, I'm in this new place, and I don't even really know this aunt, and, like, it's just a thing. So the aunt is actually someone who is working at this lab with technology to make lifelike dolls. So when you think about it, it's like a doll that moves and engages and has artificial intelligence and can talk and answer your questions and think for itself. And she is working on various prototypes of this type of doll. And her boss basically says after one time that the doll basically catches on fire. He's like, you know what? You go ahead and stop this project. We've invested too much money. We'll focus on some other things, whatever. So she doesn't listen, and she continues to work on this doll and tries to bring it to life, so to speak. And then she brings it around her niece. So the doll's name is Megan, and so basically the doll is like Chucky on steroids, if you think about it a little bit, because the doll, once the little girl like connects with the doll and you like press a button or something like that, and then it's like, oh, I'm imprinting on you. You know what I mean? Like animals do.
Yeah.
And so once it imprints on you, then you are their person. And her aunt does have like a technological way of like overriding and cutting Megan off or stopping Megan from being able to talk or doing certain pieces of that so that she isn't completely that the niece doesn't have complete control over Megan. Like she still has some safety safety stopgaps in there. So anyway, but the girl and Megan, the girl starts opening up. She starts talking more. She starts talking to Megan. They just engage. And it's basically like Megan's her new best friend. So they can run and play and talk. And Megan will sing a song and a lullaby and, whatever, So it's all these different things that Megan can do. And the aunt is kind of great about it too, because she's like, phew, this is like separate than being a mom. You don't have to. You can just let the doll
do everything for you.
Exactly, and answer questions. So when the little girl says something like, why is it that the world, is round? And Megan, with all the brain technology she has from Google or whatever, can say, well, the world is round because and so all these questions, everything can be answered. So anywho, what ends up happening is that there is a scenario with the aunt and the neighbor. So this neighbor is somebody who never leaves her dog on the leash, but will have a conniption fit anytime that her dog ends up in somebody else's property or does anything. Like she's just like, what are you trying to do to my dog? Why did it? And the lady is like, just get your dog off my property. So they're calling the cops on each other. It's all this stuff going on. Well, one day the niece, Katie, she goes out there and she actually gets her coat is caught with the dog. Like, she's trying to reach for a ball that went through the fence and then the dog grabs onto her arm and then Megan sees it all and Megan's like, oh, I got something for you, dog. Just you wait and see. Okay. And so later on, what happens is while everybody's asleep, all of a sudden Megan's out there, trying to coax the dog to come over to the fence. And the next thing you know, the neighbor is like, doggy, like, where are you, Oliver? Whatever the dog's name is, like, hello, where are you? And so, the aunt has no idea that Megan is like psychotic and would do something like that. So when she goes into the room to check on the girls, the little girl Katie's asleep and Megan is like sitting in her little charging pad on like a little windowsill. Like she just sits there charging. And so she's thinking Megan's like out of it because Megan's charging, but like Megan's eyes are moving and Megan's like, oh no, I did it. Creepy. I know I did that. So anyway, because the cops come over and the lady is saying, I was just fussing at her about my dog, and now all of a sudden my dog is missing, and I know that she did it, and that creepy little girl that she has staying over there, and she's like, she's not a girl, she's a doll, and all this kind of stuff. Well, the funny thing is that she's supposed to be keeping this prototype on the down low. She done took the prototype, like the neighbors done seen it. Yeah, then you have it where she takes Katie to summer camp, kind of like a camp, because she's like, I want her to engage with other kids. She's getting too attached to this doll, and she's not really even wanting to talk to me or engage with anybody outside of this doll. I need her to be around other people and other kids. And so she ends up taking Katie, and Katie's like, I'm not getting out this car without Megan. Megan needs to come with me, blah, blah, blah. And so a teacher walks up, or like a camp advisor or something, and is looking in the car like, are these the two daughters that you're dropping off? And she was like, well, it's my niece and a doll. Yeah. And the lady's looking in there like, this is a doll? Yeah, like, and she's creepy. Like, it's a prototype. I'm working on it. But, I'll stay here. We'll leave the doll here. The doll does have to sit where all the other toys are because she's not a real kid. And then that way it keeps her from not having this prototype being discovered with all the other kids recognizing this doll is moving and talking and walking and all of that. Well, of course Megan's not going to stay where she thinks Megan is going to stay. Not. And madness ensues. So, because Megan interprets how a little boy is treating the little girl, So anyway, that's the story. It's just constant drama with Megan.
How Megan is just trying to overprotect.
Exactly. She's protective of the niece and protective of herself. Because once they realize, like, wait a minute, could Megan be doing some of this stuff? We might need to shut her down. Yeah. And then her survival instincts kick in and she's like, oh, heck no. And then there's one scene that reminds me of like the Wednesday Addams scene where Wednesday just starts dancing at the prom. Yeah. Well, there's this scene where Megan just starts doing a whole bunch of crazy
dances and everything.
Strange things. Yeah. And like in a creepy way that makes you like, oh my God, she's coming after me, but she's moving in such a way that is like, it was creepy.
She was dancing towards you.
Some of it was funny. Some of it was weird and creepy, but I don't like horror, so it wasn't horror.
Suspense, maybe?
I mean, I guess they're trying to make it like a Chucky kind of horror, but it's like a chuckle kind of, oh my gosh, like I'm not going to be scared to go to sleep tonight kind of horror. It's more of a,
it's like, more of a, man, AI is just going to mess up the world.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, we really need to figure this thing out before it gets out of hand. So anyway.
Yeah. So the little dance thing, there was a lot of people that were like out, like dressed like Megan.
Like Megan.
I want to say it was the Super Bowl. They had some girls that were dressed like Megan that was like dancing around, looking all creepy. Yeah.
So it wasn't out at Halloween. So who knows? It might be more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think people probably knew about it at Halloween now because I mean,
you had seen the commercials. Yeah, you see something
about it. Yeah, well, like her running on all fours or whatever.
Yeah, she was doing that in the woods.
See, that's
my
creepy.
God. And that was at the camp. So it was creepy. Definitely an interesting movie. So Megan.
Would you say it's on Peacock? Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I had. So what you got next?
All right. So I have, this is an Apple TV original movie.
Okay.
Ghosted.
Yeah. So that's, wait, who's in that?
Okay, so you have, what's her name? Ana de Armas.
Okay.
Chris Evans, Adrian Brody, Tate Donovan, Amy Sedaris. It's a bunch of people.
It's a lot of people. Yeah. That's not what I was thinking it was. It was something else.
Mustafa Shakir, Anthony Mackie, John Cho. Ryan Reynolds makes an appearance as somebody named Jonas. It's so funny. I mean, it's a lot of people in this movie, and I'm here for it.
Okay. Well, because sometimes when they have a whole bunch of people in a movie, it sucks.
Yeah. No, these are a lot of these. It's not over. It's not too much. It makes you laugh. Like when Ryan Reynolds just shows up.
You're like,
it's like what? In the middle of a gunfight, and it's just like, why is he there? He's just like, hey, really quick. Okay, no, all right, I'll go. I'll go.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So I mean, it's like a lot of cute things. So so just to start off, so Chris Evans' character is Cole, and then Ana de Armas' character is Sadie. Now, what is happening is that Cole and Sadie have this little meet cute. So per account. So they are at a farmer's market. Cole is actually working at the farmer's market. One of the ladies who is in the booth across from him was like, hey, watch my booth. Like, I'm gonna go get my mind right or whatever. So then Sadie comes up and she's looking at, the stuff in this lady's booth. Cole looks up and he's like, oh, she's beautiful. Runs over there. Hey, how can I help you? All right, blah, blah, blah. And they start talking. Then their talk ends up where it's like frustration to an argument now she's walked off.
Oh, okay.
Now, the whole argument was because she was saying that she's gone for she's like, I will be gone for like a month and then I'll come back home for a couple of weeks. Then I'll be gone again. She was like, but I want a plant. And he was just like, so you want something that you can't kill that's always going to be there. And he was like trying to give her different stuff.
Yeah.
But he was thinking like 2 weeks at first. When he gave her the plant, he was like, oh yeah, you be gone for a couple of weeks. You can just bring this back and water it. They were like, she's like, yeah. No, sometimes like a month or two.
Oh, wow. Gone.
And then he starts to, I guess, talk down to her because he's one of those guys who's just like, how dare you think you're going to buy this plant and then take it home and kill it? We are not letting you do that. You need to get this. You need to get that. She was like, are you a salesman? Because you're definitely not selling me what I need right now. And he's like, no, you need a cactus. You know why? It doesn't need any water, doesn't need any help. You just have it there on your windowsill. She was, they're a little bickering back and forth. So now the lady who has the booth comes back and she was just like, wow, y'all were flirting a lot. He was like, wait, we were flirting? Then he runs after her. Now he runs after her. She puts the window down. They talk for a little while, and then he asked her out. She was like, "Yeah, no." And then as he goes and turns to walk away, she was like, "All right, come on, let's get a coffee right now." Ends up being an all-day date. So cute.
Okay.
All right, some things happen. Next day, he's texting her. Nothing. Now the funny part about this is that he lives with his parents. Apparently, his father got sick when he was younger. But not when he was young, but his father got sick and he had to move home and not be able to do what he wanted to do with his life.
Okay. Because
they have a farm and everything. So, he moved back home to help out. Now his father is absolutely cured. His father was good.
Okay.
Father's fine. But, he's still kind of dependent. You know, he's still kind of like, well, I mean, something could happen. Now I think he just has that fear of anything could happen, so I don't want to leave.
Yeah, I'm scared.
Yeah, his dad's just like, bro, I'm good. You just go to live your life. So with that, he has a sister, and his sister is hilarious. He texts the girl, and then he texts Sadie, and then she's like, how many times you blowing her phone up over there? He's like, I text her twice. And then she was like, you know, emojis count. He was like, emojis don't count. so then it was like the little bickering back and forth between them. So I think that's cute how they have the bickering back and forth between brother and sister. That makes it so realistic.
Yeah.
But so now she has not texted him back. So next day, no text back. Day after that, no text back. Now he has asthma. This is the issue. He goes to get his inhaler. He doesn't have his inhaler. You know why? Because while they were on their all-day date, he took stuff out of his pockets and put it in her bag. Now, when he can't find his inhaler, he was like, I remember that I put a tag on it. So, and then that way, I'll be able to know where it is. Like, if I left it somewhere, whatever. Comes to find out, she's in a whole nother country with his thing.
Wow, with his inhaler.
And he's just like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go get my inhaler, and I'm going to go profess my love to her and let her know. It's like so corny. And let her know that, you know, we're meant to be together, and like she'll be so excited to see me. No, bro. You know why? Because she's a spy. She's on a secret mission, and you're messing it all up for her. Yes. So now Adrian Brody's character, Lavec, he is the bad guy.
Okay.
So what happens? As soon as Cole touches down, they snatch him.
And how do they know he's related to anything dealing with her?
So this is the thing. Everywhere Cole is following his phone where Sadie is going. So he's following Sadie.
Yeah.
But the people are following him thinking that he is this person called the tax man that is a spy and stuff like that.
Also trying to get her where they're trying to get her.
Yeah. So they are trying to get her, and they are thinking that he is like the spy. So they snatch him up, and like it's so funny. But it's like one of those you know what it kind of reminds me of? What was that? All right, what was it? The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Oh,
where it was like action, and then it was like funny moments. So it was kind of like that. But yeah, I did like it. You know, kind of like a with a Deadpool type of thing, where it's like, you know, it's so over the top that it's funny.
Okay. First confession: never watched Deadpool.
Okay.
Any of them. So you know,
I'm surprised Terry didn't make you watch Deadpool.
No, never watched Deadpool.
Shout out to Terry.
Shout out Terry. And then the other thing I was going to say. So I would think it would be funny too to see him being that. Isn't this the guy who played Captain America?
Yeah.
Being the person who is not the spy, superhero person who knows all of the moves and how to do everything. So it's like you're so ingrained to him as
because
an
you're
actor.
Seeing him as a Marvel.
You're so used to seeing him in a certain way that when he plays a different character, like in Knives Out, you're just like, this is unexpected. You know what I mean?
I grew up with a lot of Chris Evans stuff, so I've seen him in things from like was it Scott Pilgrim's Playlist and it's things that you would never watch because it was like around my age. But I mean, I've watched it. I've watched him progress.
Yeah, maybe
opposed to people who really didn't watch him do stuff, and they were just like, "Oh, this is Captain America."
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So with this now, it becomes a spy movie. It becomes a what? It was that movie? Oh, the movie Spy that had Melissa McCarthy in it. That is what the movie turns into because he's like, what are you doing? We need to leave. She's like, can you just take the gun and cover me? Because we're about to die right now. Oh, my God. He's just like, no, I won't do it. He's like, okay, I'm going to take the gun and shoot. Like, it's okay. But, like, still tell me, like, what did I do that was so wrong? She's like, just cover me.
Oh, my God.
Just leave me. Just cover me. And then they get mad at each other over stuff. And then, like, it is a love story with action and adventure, so the husband and the wife can watch the movie together. That's a little nutshell.
Yeah, that is.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I get to watch.
And
absolutely, True Lies.
Long Kiss Goodnight.
Long Kiss Goodnight.
And all these things mixed together.
Spy, all mixed together. But I mean, it is a funny action
comedy, more of a
it's a action comedy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever you want to call that.
I don't know.
And Yeah, but I mean, I like it. I think that it's how they put it all together is super cute, and
Okay.
this is another one they tied all up in a bow.
Sounds recommended.
Yeah, it's definitely recommended. And I was been like trying to watch this for the longest time because I was like, these are good actors. Like this is gonna be good. Never even realized when it was coming out. I kept looking up and like, oh yeah, this is about to come out, and then be like, oh wait, it's like 3 weeks away.
Gotcha. Yes.
It's like, oh wait, it's not yet. Okay, and then now it's here.
Okay.
But yeah, I do like it. So check it out. It is Ghosted on Apple TV.
Okay.
And your next one, ma'am?
Yeah, my last one is a dark one. I'm just going to put it out there. It's on Hulu, and it's called Stolen Youth: Inside the Cult at Sarah Lawrence.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So Sarah Lawrence is a college in New York City. And so basically, this is the story of kids who go to Sarah Lawrence and, young adults. And they're a group of friends. They all live together while they're going to college. And it's like that co-ed thing where you can get like that apartment or that place where, boys and girls and stuff. It's not like a dorm where it's all girls over here, all boys over here, or all girls on this floor, all boys on that floor. It was more of, hey, we're all living together, commingling as we are college students here. And so one of the girls mentions that her father, and this is real. This is a real documentary about real things that
These are real people.
With real people at Sarah Lawrence, right? So one of the girls mentions, hey, look, my father is getting out of prison. He was wrongly accused and he really needs a place to stay. So if y'all are in agreement, he'll live on the couch. He'll just stay on the couch for a while until he can get himself up and running, just kind of getting out of prison. So the friends, for the most part, were all like, okay, yeah, sure. There was one friend who was like, I didn't like it, but I didn't want to be the one person to say, nah, when, he's just trying to get himself together. So, all right, fine. So the father comes, he stays on the couch, and she tells everybody, hey, look, he got a raw deal. He was a scapegoat for somebody else. It was business dealings. He's innocent. There's so much that, went on, and he was involved with so many things before they kind of made everything fall on him. So he had a lot of government ties and things like that. Okay. So like his father traveled a lot. He was in circles with people where you would see him with Rudy Giuliani. You would see him in pictures with Gorbachev. Like he was just that kind of guy. But in the political, in foreign, national kind of arena, and that's how she was like, he became the scapegoat because the rich and powerful people weren't going to go to prison, so they put it on him. So the friends were like, okay, that really makes sense. That something like that could happen. So here we go. The father's there. He's on the couch. And the students, they start like gravitating towards him. He has all these amazing stories that he tells. And it's almost like they're sitting around a campfire, and he's just telling all these stories about how he knew Gorbachev and what he did with the Bush administration or da-da-da-da-dee. Like it's just all these things that he has stories of in his time with the military and all this kind of stuff, right? So the students are just like sucking all this in, and then he kind of becomes their confidant. So when they have things going on, like, oh, I'm really interested in this girl, he would be like, oh, let's talk about it. Like, what things have you done? Da 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 da. Like he's just going through and engaging with them and trying to give them guidance. And he, at the same time, is a master manipulator.
Oh, okay.
A master manipulator. And he basically brainwashes them into a cult. So all of these students are so enamored with his stories and, well, he's smart and he's already achieved so many things in his life. And if we want to graduate and achieve things in our life too, we really need to listen to him. He just
got out of prison.
But he was a scapegoat, quote unquote. Like the rich and powerful people above him were the ones who made him the one that took the fall. Okay. And so therefore they truly believed that he was, the best of the best. Right, exactly. So he then moves out and he gets his own apartment, which come to find out another guy was like, yeah, he was sleeping on my couch and then took over my entire apartment that I moved out. Like that's how manipulative this guy, like he was on another level. So anyway, he moves out. All of a sudden, all the teenagers start leaving their dorm campus housing and start moving in with him in this tiny little 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom apartment or something. It was insane. Really, it was a 1-bedroom apartment. So then he ends up where his daughter's best friend ends up moving in with him. His daughter doesn't even, she might have moved in for a little while, but then she just goes back to campus. She's like, I'm just going to hang out on campus. So therefore, all these people start moving in with him. Most of them are sleeping in like a living room. Some of them are sleeping in his bedroom. because he's taken over this 1-bedroom apartment now. And so nobody really was saying, well, they kind of alluded to the fact that he was messing around with the daughter's best friend.
Okay.
That kind of scenario, which, I mean, it's insane. But anyway, and so all of a sudden he has them doing chores around the house. They're doing yard work. They are, he's berating them. He's like, they just take it. Like, he's slapping them in the face. He's telling them they're not worth anything. They're lazy, that they, you can't eat. And I have a lock on the refrigerator, and it's all this stuff. And they're going to school and they're getting their degrees, and they are all sucked into this guy's orbit and just listen to him and do whatever he says. So then you have other friends, like that one who didn't really want him to live on the couch. She never got involved in the orbit.
Yeah,
and she was like, all of a sudden, all my friends are just sucked into him. And it's like, you try to talk to them on campus and they're like, oh, we got to go see such and such. Like, they had to go see him. We have to be around him. We got to do this. No, we can't talk right now. We can't go to any parties. We can't do that.
Wow.
And so she is like, I don't even know y'all. So she's just stopped engaging.
So everybody,
and one of them was her boyfriend. So they ended up basically breaking up because he kept telling the boyfriend, no, she's not a good person. Well, she's not a good person because she's not being sucked in by you. She's the person who's like, So anyway, he starts a relationship with one of one of the guys who's sucked into his situation. This guy invites his sisters to come. One of them ends up staying. Okay. The other one ends up going back. She's going for her PhD in, she's going to be a psychiatrist. Uh-huh. She ends up the worst of all. She comes back. He's like, I love you. I want to marry you. Here's a ring, whatever. She ends up leaving school when she's going through her last bit of her being an intern, like the Grey's Anatomy students, coming in, doing your intern and getting all of your practical experience. She leaves, comes to him, and she ends up going crazy. Like, she's pulling her hair out. She's like scratching. She's shaking. She's moving in weird ways. She's doing, and it's like, what in the world is happening? But he had broken her down so much, manipulating, being a master manipulator, that she just is a puddle. And her brother is like, when it's like weird dynamics where he's like, well, you have to answer his question. And the sister's just sitting there rocking, like in this video, because the guy took videos of all this stuff too. He took his own videos of all this craziness.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
And so they had all this evidence against him now, but he wanted to almost create his own reality show or something, like in his own mind, of all the stuff that was going on that he could then look at later and really.
That is just so crazy.
He's so demented and sick. So anyway, the brother is talking to the sister like, you need to answer his question. You need to do this. And then she wouldn't say anything. He had to slap himself. And then it's like, hey, I'm telling you, the more that you don't answer him, the more I have to hurt myself. Like, you have to do this. And she wouldn't say anything. So he's slapping himself. Is this what you want? And he keeps slapping himself. And it's like, it is the most insane thing I have ever seen. And these people, so they kind of start showing that, okay, some of them start migrating away, and some of them to this day are 100% loyal and committed to him, almost like that Keith Raniere situation with Nexium and that cult. Like, that is almost how this is. And so there's some students who now are just like, I see that he was a master manipulator, and I see that all these things. And then there's other people who are just like that psychology major, and girl who was getting ready to become a psychiatrist. She's still there, hanging out, waiting to see at least in part of it, And she's just like, okay, so he's in prison now, but I'm just here, and he would want us to do these chores around the house, so I'm still doing.
Is she there by herself?
With some other, another person who also was.
The human brain is just amazing,
isn't it?
For you to think of something so twisted and demented, and then for you to follow something so twisted.
Exactly, but he would do horrific things. He would tape them. He had some stuff that, to the point that other people were recording, and they just were stopping because they were like, no, we can't have this on video because of how horrific he was treating somebody.
Oh, wow.
Like, those are the kind of things that it's just terrible. And then you have families who were like, the relationships were ruined. brothers and sisters, that relationship dynamic. One of them, it was a situation where one of the characters, the people in the documentary, she went to her sister's house and knocked on her door, and her sister had gotten out basically, and she was just like, I can't open the door. Like, I cannot let you back into, no, I'm not opening this door for you. And she was just like, I'm so sorry, but I'm here, and I know there were some things that happened and da-da-da. And the sister was like, I get that, and I'll love you from a distance, but I will not open this door for you. Like, that's how much he broke down.
Yeah, brainwashed everyone.
And brainwashed all of this. And so it was...
So the moral of the story is it's easy to start a cult.
It seems like certain people's dynamics, and there are people who are manipulators to the point. It's almost like they said with R. Kelly, right? Yeah, he can pick up on things that are in a person or that people say, and then it's like, oh, that is what I need to use against them later. Yeah. Let me keep this in mind so I can use it against them later. Let me keep this in mind that they didn't have a strong father figure, so therefore let me do this so that I can manipulate
father
them.
Figure and manipulate them.
Exactly. And I think that part of that might have been what this man did. They didn't really explain that much, and I'm glad they didn't, because then people will probably be taking notes. But it's almost like, how he got people to this point, I have no idea, but they were slowly kind of coming out of the spell that he had them under. And then as they did, they were like, it's like a sense of relief, like, oh my gosh, like I actually can just like walk away. Yeah. Like, why didn't I think to do this earlier, that I could just say, you know what, I'm just going to go stay on campus. I don't have to be around this dude. I don't have to be berated. I don't have to starve because he has a lock on the refrigerator.
That's the human mind. That's crazy, right?
What was I thinking? And so, anyway, it is a doozy of a ride. It's called Stolen Youth Inside the Cult at Sarah Lawrence, and it's on Hulu. So,
all right.
That
sounds wild.
It is completely.
I want to watch it now.
Oh Lord!
No, the only reason I want to watch is because I'm like how I want to know what's going on in the minds of people who want to follow other people. Yeah, who don't have anything.
Right, because he literally, like you said,
was on the
got
couch.
out of prison and was on a couch, and
everybody was like, he is the next
smartest,
Messiah.
Yeah, exactly, guy. And oh, by the way, some of his stories weren't even real.
Of course not.
Yeah, so
he probably has a Photoshop picture of him and Gorbachev.
But yeah, it's kind of insane. So anywho, so what you got for the last thing?
All right, so for my last one, this is another Apple TV. This is a TV show this time. This is called Extrapolations.
Oh gosh, okay.
Yeah, it's extra. It is, but I love it, and I'm here for it.
And I feel like I might have started watching an episode of that, but
maybe
once you start talking about it, it'll.
I told you about it.
Okay, but I feel like maybe even after you told me, I
might
have watched an episode, something or something.
All right, so you have a lot of people in this. So, you got Kit Harington.
Okay, yeah.
King
of the North.
The King in the North. You got David Diggs, Diane Lane, Edward Norton, Leslie Uggams.
Leslie Odom?
No, Leslie Uggams.
Uggams? Who's
Leslie
Uggams?
The older lady, Leslie Uggams, from back in the day, the actress from back in the day.
Oh, I don't know if I even know
She was the blind lady that was on. Oh, you never saw Deadpool?
No. Okay. So anyway, for people who did though,
she's the blind roommate of Ryan Reynolds.
Oh,
in Deadpool.
I did see it in a trailer or something.
But Leslie Uggams. Yeah, she's been an actress for years and years and years.
I didn't know her name.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of people in this. So each episode is about something different. So, how do I explain this? The whole show is based off of what will happen to the world and humans once we destroy it, because it's going to happen.
Oh, okay.
So it's like all of the ice caps are melted. Mm-hmm. There's flooding everywhere. Mm-hmm. Extinction of all kinds of animals. The smog and the pollution is so bad that it's messed up how people can breathe now. Some days you can go outside, some days you have to stay inside because it's so hot out. The ozone layer is gone. It's
Apocalypse,
it's
basically.
definitely it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
So each episode is its own entity. A lot of things are talking about the same similar things. It's talking about some of the same similar things, but each episode goes off of one particular division of this whole thing. So I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I'll just talk about a couple of them. So one of them is the episode 3. It's called The Fifth Question. Now what this is David Diggs is a rabbi. Okay.
Yeah.
With him being a rabbi, he is in this church, so into the church, and then also his not the church, but the synagogue or whatever.
Yeah.
His family is all into it.
Yeah, he's a
rabbi. Yeah.
So he's right.
So now he's moved home. He's moved home, and now he's like being a rabbi for like this one church that's like nearby. He's like, he's telling his family like, oh, they need you. They need me. This is why I'm here. I'm like paying my dues and blah, 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 blah. And his father's like, yeah, but you're about to go over here because I made sure that I pulled some strings and this is where you're going. I don't care what you say. Like, this is where you're going. Like, don't do it for me, do it for your mother. He tried to put that blame on him. But then, so there is the fathers, David's father, and actually Ross, what's his name? David Schwimmer?
Schwimmer's, yeah.
And he's in it as well.
Yeah.
So they're the two fathers.
Yeah.
Best friends. So it's like, hey, you know what? Sometimes you gotta, grease some palms in order to get stuff done. So what's happening is the government is trying to figure out, or I guess the government for Florida is trying to figure out which places to keep, and which places they're just gonna
They're gonna have to shut it down.
Because
they can't fund it.
because the water's gonna rise and we can't save you.
Yeah.
So David Schwimmer's character is he's a guy who's like, I know a guy will get it done.
Mm-hmm. Don't ask any questions.
Yeah, don't ask any questions. Just know it's going to happen. So now David is like, he's like torn in between like two parts. It's like, all right, so this is what I want to do. And we are going to save this synagogue, blah, 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 blah. And then it's also, but I know we really need him to help us save it. But he's like a gangster and we don't want to do that.
Exactly. It's like the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other as a rabbi.
Exactly. So that whole episode is really good and really you can see the thought process that went into this of what would you do if it's the end of the world? What would you do in order to save yourself and your loved ones and people that you care about compared to other people trying to save their self and their loved ones, people they care about? Like what would be the things that would come in your mind in order for you to save these people. So that is one episode was really good. Oh, another episode that I thought was amazing. Which one was that? Okay, the whale. All right, so it's Whale Fall. This is episode 2. This one I thought was really good.
Oh, can I say one more thing? The girl who is Nikisa Rose, I think is how she says her name, but she played the daughter of Schwimmer in that one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she was so good. She was
so good and amazing and cracked me up.
And I loved how she talked. Was that really his daughter? Because they kind of look alike.
I don't know. No, because they don't have the same last name. But but it was so funny to me how she was in there. So anyway, I didn't want to distract.
She did really good. Like she did really good as far as like how they wrote it with the questions and everything. She played out. She was like, but Rabbi, what do you think about this?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
This and this and this.
And then she had to do her bat mitzvah and blah, blah, blah.
It's literally like the little kid that's in the back seat. It's like, Mommy, why is the sky blue? Mommy, why is the sun out?
But she's asking it in such a sarcastic
but she still wants to know the answers.
Yeah,
she's like,
she
so
wants
what are you
to know
thinking?
the answers, but she is just like it's just like everything annoys her.
Oh yeah, everything does annoy her because she knows that the world's ending and that nobody's there to nobody's doing anything to help it.
But I'm sorry, go back to the one you really liked.
All right, so the one that I really liked was called Whale Fall, and that was actually one of
the whale.
Yeah,
Sienna Miller.
So Sienna Miller. She actually there is this thing that's built in the ocean, and she is going into the ocean, and she has this technology where she can talk to the whale in English, and the whale talks back to her in English.
Yeah, so she comes out, woo, 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 and then the whale comes back, woo, woo, woo. but it all makes sense.
But yeah. So like as she's talking, the whale's hearing whale, and then as the whale's talking, she's hearing English. And the whole point of this is to find the mate for this whale because it's instinct. So it's like, yo, if we find you a mate, then we got it good. We can take care of you, make sure you have a family, and then we can go ahead and keep going with the whales. And I mean, like that. And then how that whole system worked out, where it was just like, you know, like we're trying to make a mate. We're not trying to make friends. Okay, this is a whale. You're a human. Right. Y'all are not friends. Right.
But it was like such good conversation that they had. And she gave the whale her mother's voice, who her mother passed away. Yes. It sounds like she's talking to her mother, who was Meryl Streep.
Yes. It was so good. Yeah. So good. And then the last one that I do want to talk about is called Lola. Now, the episode for Lola is actually this man. It starts out with this man, and you have like your job is like Uber person.
Okay.
You go around and you turn into this person for these people who have either had they lost a sibling, they lost a family member, something like that, and you are filling in that place just because they just feel lonely and they just want to see that person again. So he gets his itinerary, and it's like, all right, you gotta have blue eyes, you gotta wear what's it called, a kofi, you gotta like, this is what you have to do. You have to have a scar on your face, you have to speak Arabic, you know, this is what you have to do. So every time that he gets something that pops up, it's literally like Uber, where you just pick what you want to do, how much money you're going to get.
Uber for acting.
Yeah. But the thing is that there is something that is going around the world that's in every episode, and it's called Summer Heart. And Summer Heart apparently affects your heart and your brain. So your heart, if you can fix your heart with Summer Heart, you're good, but you're still going to lose your memory. So now memory is stored in your brain. Memory is stored in the cloud. So then that way you don't have to think about pointless stuff. You can just take it and store it in the cloud, and then it's like, bring up memory such and such, and then it just pops up, and you can like relive it. It's going to be through your eyes, but you were actually seeing it. And
it's like Black Mirror.
Yeah, like that. So what happens in that is he goes to this woman, and she has her daughter, and then he turns into like their father. I'm sorry, not that father, but the little girl's father and the husband. And it's so weird how all this happens, because he is like, it's like the little girl's just like, hey, daddy. And I'm just like, how is this not messing up this kid's like whole, like,
universe? Like, how's daddy here?
Yeah, because it's like, oh, daddy, you're back. I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. But is the little girl growing up thinking that this man's actually your dad? Or like,
does it give you a chance to get some closure?
Yeah. I don't understand that. I mean, the girl had to have been like 6 years old.
Yeah,
you know.
I don't know.
So I don't know. That was just so crazy. But that was a really good episode.
I didn't see that one yet.
Oh yeah, that one was good. And then it goes into how basically how the memory thing. Sometimes you just have to let memories go. So with that, sometimes you just need to let go, and then when you do let go, that actually will help you be able to move on.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you gotta let go.
I need that. I needed that, and I just came out my own mouth, and I just need to hear myself. Look at God.
Sometimes you need a word from yourself.
Yeah, right.
So there you go. Yeah, amen. So on that note, everybody, we have given you a word, and we will talk to y'all next week.
Yeah.
And enjoy the week, and just know that everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely. That's very true.
All right, everybody. Take care, and bye.